Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to change the landscape of podcasting as you know it in professional wrestling. This is the Game Changer Podcast. Featuring the greatest asset to come out of Canada, the legendary Mr. Fretz.
The best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be.
I love myself. There's something so condescending to the champ and get out of my ring.
They think they got the answers. I change the questions. I did it all by my sweet little self. Two-time Slammy Award winner. I knew it. I'm a winner. I did it. Woo!
As well as featuring yours truly, the Game Changer, Nate the effin' Great.
I've had it. It's time for you to start listening to somebody else, and that somebody else is going to be me, and it's going to be right now. The dirty secret is you need this generation more than it needs you. You're not going to come out here and talk about how it should have been you, it should have been me, it should have been you, it should have been you, it should have been you, it should have been you 8 years ago, and it was kind of, then it wasn't, and it's not going to be again, and it's not going to happen. Just get over it.
I am the best on this microphone, in that ring, even in commentary. Nobody can touch me.
We change the game one day at a time. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're ready, let's do this.
Doing Nathan the effing Great. Now that's a nickname. I'm in an industry of nicknames, and that, I'm a little jealous I didn't think of that first. That's pretty dope. First off, congratulations on 5 years in your field, my friend. I've been in my industry for 12 years since 2008. And I'll tell you right now, 5 years, that's a big milestone, because every 5 years you see our industry change, whether it be podcasts, whether it be YouTube videos. It's just digital content goes through this wave. Every 5 years it changes. So for you to be making it this far and kind of watching this wave happen, I'm excited for you and I'm proud of you. So keep up the damn good work, my friend. Just keep being you. That's what's most important. You said some very high compliments to me, and I couldn't be more honored to be on this adventure with you. So really just kind of take that, because at the end of the day, that's what it's about. You're on an adventure, you're 5 years in, and I'm excited for you. I think that's pretty cool. So keep it up until the next time. I'll see you later.
If you close your eyes, your life and make it truth revealed. Since you never lived, and scars never healed. In the darkness, light will take you to the other side. Find me waiting there, you'll see if you just close your eyes. If you just close your eyes. If you just close your eyes.
You know, guys, I think this is going to be the episode entitled The Episode with Many Snaps, because there's so much talk about the dreaded snap that Thanos did, and I think a lot of us would like to see maybe half, if not the entire population of the coronavirus gone. Welcome to this episode of the Game Changer Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. I am the man who has just finally caved in, and now I have a Snapchat. Check me out at Pal of Pause Nate's on Snapchat. Feel free to send what you want. Just please, no dick pics unless it's of Dick Cheney, because then at least that's fine. That's one thing. God damn it. I try to do my best. I feel like I'm just not being taken seriously anymore, but I'm being joined here by the man who definitely is one of the highest praising people of the one and only Lacey Evans, as well as the one person who loves bad jokes more than anybody else, that being the Prime Minister of Canada himself, and my unfortunate co-host, Mr. Fretz. How's it going, man?
Yes, this Prime Minister is talking moistly to you all. And, folks, by the time you hear this, I will be WrestleMania years old, so cheers to that. And, yes, it's been a ride.
And it has been a ride indeed. But, ladies and gentlemen, we are not here alone. No. Because we actually had the chance to listen to this individual on the Kings of the Rings podcast, so much so that Mr. Fretz said, hey, let's bring him onto our podcast. So we thought, hey, alright, let's bring him onto the show. He is a man who wears the zebra shirt. He is the man who definitely probably takes more abuse than a lot of the other wrestlers combined. That being the one, the only, the dreaded Mr. Vincent. How's it going, good sir?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you guys doing?
Well, I mean, you see Fretz pouring a nice, cold, hard drink, so he's doing. I think he's doing pretty good right now. I'm enjoying my nice, cold.
Right here. Poured it into a bottle instead of a cup. But yeah.
You guys are enjoying brewskis. I'm enjoying a nice, cold water out of a CM Punk cup from StarCast. It's still one of my favorite things I've gotten from that deal. But alright, so we are here, and not really too much to this format here. We're just going to be talking to Vincent, talking about some of the things that, happened throughout his career, because I've definitely been told that you have definitely a plethora of stories that you could just tell all night long. So we'll definitely get into maybe some other stories.
I got so many road stories, I got prank stories, I got ring stories.
So there's going to be a lot of content here, basically focused on the referee. Maybe we'll get into talking about some wrestling this week, but who knows at this point. But Mr. Fretz, I know that you had a couple questions that you wanted to ask Mr. Vincent, so the floor is yours, my friend. Ask away.
Oh, I had a few here, but we're some that we can get into later. You said something about ribs. I would love to hear more about that in a bit, but what I'd like to know is, when you got into wrestling, why a referee? Like, why did you choose that? Well, I have a history of concussions and injuries, so I figured I'd take the safer route and maybe transition to being a wrestler sometime in the future, because referees are trained to do literally the same exact thing plus more than a wrestler does, so, yeah. It's with bump taking and that kind of thing, or? Oh no, we're trained to wrestle actual matches too. Like, we're not just taking the bumps or anything. Like, we could actually wrestle a full match if they wanted us to. So we can see, Nick Patrick versus Earl Hebner once again, eh?
Damn it!
Yeah.
Oh man, the most legendary match of all time that people have long forgotten for some reason.
Oh, I haven't forgotten. I have Invasion on DVD. I've worn that thing out. I actually like it. I like it. I don't like the storyline. That's something we can talk about it another time, Nate. But I have. What do I have here? So, as a referee, what are your aspirations? Say for to work for a major company or to work a major match, like that kind of thing. Right now, I'm kind of happy where I am, seeing where my career takes me, but I would like to get opportunities in big companies such as AEW, WWE, Impact Wrestling, Ring of Honor, so on and so forth. Yeah, that's very good. Some of these ones would be saved for near the end, but I can just go for them now. But right now, out of any matches that you have reffed, what was your favorite? Ooh, that's a tough one. Alright, can I give a top 5? Oh, absolutely. Eric Jaden versus Joey Ryan. Danny Jordan versus Marty Bell. No disqualification match for the Bronx Wrestling Federation 5 Boroughs Championship. Tyree Taylor and Steve the Body Lugo. Tables, ladders, and chairs match for the East Coast Pro Wrestling Long Island Division Championship. Cash Camacho versus Lawrence Spiral. And, I'm trying to think. Yaya the Gifted One versus Chris Dickinson. Yaya the Gifted One. That's one of the greatest wrestling names I've ever heard. Who is this guy? Who is this?
He is a very talented indie wrestler. I have worked with him at Free Combination Wrestling and Bronx Wrestling Federation. Hopefully get to work with him at different companies as well, trying to expand my name, get to different companies.
That sounds good, because like when I heard that, I'm like, what of two things came to mind? He's either like the excellence of execution, or, God forgive me because I've worked with these people for a long time, special needs. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a really he's a gifted athlete. Like, he can fly, he can do like technical wrestling, and he can pretty much do any style you throw at him. Like, he's that good.
Definitely look into that one. Out of any match in wrestling history, this is fantasy match reffing. You could even go for a top 5 for these as well, but which 5 matches, or one, in wrestling history would have you liked to referee if you were to say jump in the DeLorean?
If I could ref any match, past, present, or matches that haven't happened yet, I would say I would like to go back in time and referee Macho Man Randy Savage versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat WrestleMania 3. Let's see. Hulk Hogan versus The Rock WrestleMania 18. I wish I could go back in time and referee that one. That was a classic. Again, going back in time here, Brock Lesnar versus Kurt Angle WrestleMania 19 for the WWE Championship. Phenomenal match up until that botched shooting star press.
Oh boy.
Ouch.
As of matches right now, I would like to referee really any match of the Young Bucks, because like they are fun to work with, I heard. And yeah, that's those are my top matches.
That is awesome. And I was just thinking, like, if you're in there with the Young Bucks, how likely would it be for you to get super kicked?
Probably pretty likely.
Yeah, that or at the match you get an Indie Taker or some wacky finish that they have. Who was on your referee? Oh yeah. Who was on your referee Mount Rushmore?
Like, you mean indie refs or refs from WWE or a bit of both or what?
Any. The floor is yours.
Okay, so it's kind of a mixture of indies and WWE. It'd be from WWE, Mike Chioda and Charles Robinson. And from the indies, it'd be my friend Alphonse Stevens and Zachary Snow.
That is awesome. And let's see what I have. I have going to give you a little bit of word association here. You can give me a rapid fire answer to these names.
Yep.
Okay. The Fink.
Rest in peace.
Earl Hebner.
Awesome.
Nick Patrick.
Heel ref.
Charles Robinson.
Lil Nate.
Yes.
Classic. And the Robe. Mike Chioda.
Greatest ref of all time.
And Jimmy Corderas.
He's a really good referee. I watch his work I watch all of their work so I could study, perfect my craft and stuff like that. But yeah, they're all great referees.
Awesome. So I have, and we've already kind of covered where we'd like to work. Do you have anywhere specific, or do you want to go, try out Japan or WWE? Do you have anywhere specific in mind, or just whatever opportunity comes your way?
I'll take whatever comes my way just to get a bigger name for myself, to see if I could eventually make it to the show of shows. WWE is the goal, but I'll take any opportunity that I can to get my name out there.
Awesome. Okay. What are your hobbies? What would you find yourself doing if you weren't refereeing or training?
I work out in the gym a lot. I turned my garage into a gym. I'm actually looking at my Bowflex machine right now. I draw cartoons a lot because cartoons is pretty much what I grew up with. I have been drawing since I was a little kid. Started with stick figures, of course, but eventually got better and started drawing cartoons. So I do that a lot. Yeah.
for those curious that were just wondering what just happened, I actually pulled up a picture that I bought from C2E2 a couple of years ago of Venom, so they got the chance to see it, and it's amazing. I didn't draw it, but just talking about cartoons, it was literally one of those things where it's like, hey, what do you know? I got this right over here. That is like a box full of everything.
Yeah, I actually have a cartoon of Venom that I drew a few months ago.
And can you at least give us a little insight on what the cartoon's kind of about, or is it like a comic strip, or?
I just pretty much draw whatever character comes to mind.
Okay.
I've drawn characters like Spider-Man, Venom, I've done Mysterio, I've done DC characters like Batman, Bane, I've done Green Lantern, I did old cartoon characters like Popeye the Sailor Man.
That is absolutely classic. Can't wait for that Venom movie with Carnage.
Yeah, that's gonna be great. I actually really like how they cast Woody Harrelson as Carnage. That's gonna be great.
That is an amazing casting choice because they were. I watched the movie. I think I rented it or something. Then we had post-credit scene, and I immediately knew we were going to get something. That's like, my name's Cletus Cassidy. Just like total mark-out moment right there. I love the symbiote saga. Some of my favorite, Spider-Man lore. I'm a big fan of the 1990s Spider-Man series.
Yeah, that's some good stuff.
Not a lot of people like it too much, but that's right up there with the X-Men cartoon from the 90s is one of the greatest things of all time in Marvel ever.
Yeah, Marvel does have a lot of good cartoons. DC has a lot of good cartoons too, like Batman the Brave and the Bold and stuff like that.
And the 90s Batman with Kevin Conroy. Phenomenal.
Yeah, Mark Hamill is the Joker. Greatest Joker of all time. I know people are more Team Heath Ledger, but Mark Hamill is the man.
I'd say it's a toss-up between either Heath Ledger. Mark Hamill's great. I wouldn't say he's one of the greatest of all time. I'd say he's like top 3. I'd say it's probably like Heath Ledger, Jack Nicholson, then Mark Hamill. And then all the way at the bottom of the list, we see Jared Leto.
Of course.
Aw, poor Jared. Him and his grill. I get
Jack Nicholson, Heath Ledger,
Mark Hamill.
I forgot the guy's name, but the one who played the Joker with the cartoon Jokers, the cosplay Jokers, and then Jared Leto.
So people who are just deciding, hey, we're going to spend like months and months to make this costume amazing, they are higher up than Jared Leto. That's saying a lot, but in all honesty, I can't really disagree with that. Because
the Jared Leto Joker would have been better if they put the good scenes in the movie. Because the deleted scenes with him as the Joker were awesome, but they put the shitty scenes in instead.
Guys, they had to make him like a cool uncle. I mean, one of the things I'll definitely point to is definitely check out Adam Vlampier's rebooking of Suicide Squad. I think he basically talks about how the whole thing with Harley Quinn, where he messes up with her brain. It's one of those things where it's like, that's horrible, but they make it seem like, ooh, cool, romance. No! He rewired her effing brain! It's one of those things where it's like, yeah. And they try to make it like, oh, this is the kind of romance people want. It's like, no, they want what's true to the status quo of the comics. Not this random deal that's going to be another Twilight BS deal.
It's crazy.
Still a better love story than Twilight. I want to have a hubby just like Joker. Girl, you need therapy.
And then along comes Belle, and it's just like, I don't know who to love. I like the vampire, but I like the werewolf. Honey, you need Jesus.
The power of Christ compels you.
Hey, I'm a Christian. I have that power.
Jesus.
I have a bachelor in theology. I have a degree.
Okay, that's fair.
Man, and there was back on the Joker just for a second. You guys have both played the Arkham games for the Xbox and PlayStation, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, there was the prequel that I forget what it's called, but I think it takes place at Christmas, and it's not Asylum City. Is it Arkham Origins or?
That's Arkham Origins. They didn't remaster that for the newer stations yet, for like Xbox or whatever, because the only ones that got remastered were Arkham City and Arkham Asylum. They didn't remaster Origins yet, but I feel like they're probably going to eventually.
They absolutely should, and that was the one game I think that had almost none of the original voice cast. Maybe Kevin Conroy was Batman, but I can't remember who they had played Joker, but a lot of people were... What?
The same guy in Arkham Origins, the same guy who played Joker did the voice of Batman, too.
Wow. Because that wasn't like a Rocksteady game, that was some kind of offshoot in Montreal, but everyone was pissing and moaning about, oh, it's not Mark Hamill, it's gonna suck, and then they show this guy at a panel reading an excerpt from The Killing Joke, and it's like, I stand corrected. And I never finished that game. I never actually finished the new Arkham game because the Batmobile missions were unforgivable.
I mean, it took me like a long time to beat the new game because those Batmobile missions are just god awful.
They're the worst. Like, I compare that to a game I just beat in Red Dead Redemption 2, and that's one of the best things I've ever played in my life.
That is a good game.
Just tears. And I had another. This is my last question, and we can just shoot the shit about regular shit. With Nate has some questions too. But what is on your isolation watch list?
Ooh.
Well, the season 2 of a show called The Haunting of Hill House just got released on Netflix, so I'm probably going to watch that again. The Flash, definitely, because I love that show. Grant Gustin is definitely a better Flash than the one we have in Justice League.
Yeah. I don't think people like to talk about that Flash too much. Even though
the Flash suit in Justice League is just god awful. They make him look like an astronaut rather than the Flash.
Yeah, that is true. And I will say this, that I think I was one of those people that was holding on to the fact that it was like, well, I mean, this movie was going to suck. The only good things that were, other than Wonder Woman and a little bit of Aquaman, was Cyborg and the Flash, because it was like, Superman, don't care. Batman, just not a fan of this guy.
Okay, Ben Affleck was not a good Batman. He was an okay Batman, but he was not a good Batman. He's still better than George Clooney, though. George Clooney was just a terrible Batman, and whoever had the idea to put nipples on the Batsuit. Why?
Because rubber fetish, that's why.
Because they gave him a Bat credit card. They have the balls to give him a Bat. There's not compute. If you know what I'm referencing, folks, can of Coke.
For those that don't know, that is the Nostalgia Critic raging about the Bat credit card. He did that for so many years. Honestly, if you just put a Nostalgia Critic Bat credit card, you're going to get some of those entertaining shit that you will ever see, especially when you find out the origins of where this Bat credit card thing came from, how it just blew up into deal, and then how it basically ended was even just as somehow gratifying, if not hilarious. It's great. But But yeah, no. When it comes to Batman, for me, I think that still the best of all time is Michael Keaton. He definitely knows.
By far the best. I'd say the second best would probably be Christian Bale.
Yeah.
Christian Bale was really good.
Yeah.
I think Christian Bale, like, he nails Bruce Wayne, and Michael Keaton nails Batman. If that makes any sense, like,
that does.
I mean,
I'm kind of
excited to see what Robert Pattinson does as Batman. That should be interesting.
Well, only because I've only seen Pattinson in Twilight, and I could only stomach about 2 minutes of any of those movies. But I mean, who was Batman before? Well, Affleck. Yeah, I mean, I stopped watching Batman versus Superman halfway through. That movie was so fucking boring.
Yeah, Affleck was good as Daredevil, though.
Yeah, Ben was okay. He was okay as Daredevil, but the execution, that they just didn't nail that movie. I mean, the execution was just off. And the only thing I know from that movie is the Evanescence song.
Yeah, I like Michael Clark Duncan as Kingpin, though. That was great casting.
That's different. And I'm like, I was looking at Kingpin's like, isn't Kingpin like a big, huge, like, white bald guy? Or is there like another version of the Kingpin that's African American?
I think what they were trying to do there was like make it seem like Hollywood isn't racist.
True. I mean, they had MJ be Zendaya, which, you know, some people are okay with it, some people hate it, some people love it. I'm one of those people that's like, you know, she's kind of adorable in the dorky kind of way, but I also know that she's kind of got this kind of prima donna attitude about her.
One thing comes to mind when I think of Zendaya. Disney Channel.
Yeah, she's very Zack and Cody, I think, or was she on something? I'm older than both views, so
she was on a few shows on Disney Channel, but one of the most known ones is probably Casey Undercover or whatever. My little cousin watches it, so
I don't know what that is. I know what some kitty shows are because
it is.
Yeah. I mean, my nephew's 5, and I've been watching Masha and Bear with him since he was a toddler. So that's as far as I go.
Fair enough. That is fair. Guys, we're going to take a quick little commercial break, and then when we come back, we're going to listen to some wonderful stories by referee Vincent. Honestly, I'm looking forward to these. These are probably going to be as entertaining, if not just memorable, as you can imagine. So stay tuned, you guys. We will be right back.
I'm Wild.
And I'm Randy Fitzsimmons, and this is the Game Changer Podcast. Pew, pew, pew.
What's up, folks? This is Mr. Fretz from the Game Changer Podcast, here to tell you about my Patreon show, The 20 Bell Salute, where I go back 20 years ago each month in wrestling and pop culture. What movies were out, what video games we were playing, what music we were downloading on Napster, and what wrestling pay-per-views took place that month in WWE and what other promotions happen to still exist at this time. So join me in my Y2K compliant DeLorean as I go 20 years into the past on the Wrestle Addict Radio Patreon. Join us for only $5 a month.
This is my brutality! This is my brutality! War of attrition, that's the mission. Now my vision is coming in clear. Blame the masses, fall to ashes and die. From the sky falls to the fire of the elite. Out of the gate, coming your way, don't disobey.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Game Changer Podcast, a part of Wrestle Addict Radio. I'm Nate the NateFNGreat, being joined here by the wonderful Mr. Fretz and referee Vincent. So, Vincent, it's time for us to ask some of the hard-hitting questions that are hopefully going to evolve into some great stories that you have locked up in that beautiful mind of yours. So I do want to ask this question, and this will probably go into a story. What has probably been the craziest bump that you have taken as a referee?
Did I show you guys the video of me being thrown headfirst into a steel cage yet?
No, I have not seen that.
Yeah, after the podcast, I'm definitely sending you guys that video.
Oh, please do.
Yeah, I got thrown headfirst into a steel cage, and then when I landed, unfortunately, where I landed, there were some thumbtacks.
Oh, God.
So when I got backstage, I had to be carried backstage because, kayfabe, make it seem real.
But there's also that small part of you that's probably thinking, this is a good idea, because I feel like I'm going to pass out. Unless those thumbtacks were not that painful, because I've heard...
Oh, no, they were extremely painful, and pulling them out hurt like a motherfucker. But... because I had at least 10 of them stuck in my shoulder, and then I had another, 8 of them stuck in my leg.
Oh,
damn.
And I had to pull 20 of them out of my shoe.
I mean, I've stepped on one, but... yeah, no, I can't imagine that.
Stepping on one is one thing, because then you're taking your time, and you're able to, stop yourself before it goes all the way in. After being thrown from a steel cage and having to bump immediately, you don't really have that luxury.
Oh my gosh! I mean, it's almost like how Chris Jericho says. It's like Leonardo DiCaprio. It's like a thousand tiny knives just stabbing you.
Yeah. Yep. That is accurate. I laughed at that when I heard that, and then I actually landed in the thumbtacks after being thrown in the cage, and I was like, well, it could not have been more true. Ow.
And hey, at least you didn't end up with 69 thumbtacks like Chris Jericho did.
Nice.
And then after I landed, I was selling. I got picked up, thrown in the corner, bam, 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 took a knee to the face. Of course the knee didn't actually really connect because they were protecting me, because you know how we wrestlers and referees do that. But everybody knows that. I mean, the pain we feel when we take the bump is still real, but we know what's coming.
Oh,
if that makes any sense.
No, definitely.
You know how to brace yourself.
We know how to connect, but we know how to connect, but protect our who we're working with at the same time. But anyway, so after that, they picked me up, beat me up in the corner, where I landed on more thumbtacks.
Oh my God!
Oh no!
I call that an ever-living nightmare. It's just like, oh no, thumbtacks. At least this is over. At least this is over. Happens again. Why? Why?
Yeah, because at that point there were more than 10 thumbtacks added to my back now, and I was just I cannot wait to get in the back. I cannot wait to get carried out after we take down this cage. Because meanwhile, everyone, the people came into the cage, got me out of the cage, and then carried me to the back. And they're like, "Dude, you good?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine. Let's just start pulling these thumbtacks out."
It's like, no, oh yeah, it felt like, peaches and cream. Everything is just amazing. No, I got bloody thumbtacks in my body, you idiots.
Yeah. So then I get to my setup, and then the guys who threw me into the cage are like, "Dude, you good?" I'm like, "Just peachy." Just peachy. I was like, because I was not expecting to take a bump after the match, because it was after the match already ended, so they were mad that they lost, so they take it out on the referee. So then I was checking on them, I'm seeing if they're okay. I get up, my friend Chris Barton, he's like, "Hey, Vinny, you're gonna take a bump." I was like, "Okay." So he just chucks me into the steel cage. So he
all of this could have been avoided if you had just said, you know, if there weren't so many thumbtacks around here, I think I'd be more than willing to do this. But you know what? It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. There's no chance I'm going to be okay. I'm in the tax. This can't possibly get any worse. And I'm in the tax again.
Yeah, I thought I was going to be able to avoid the tax, or at least land in a spot where there weren't a lot of them. I was wrong.
Math, why must you be cruel to me?
I was just like, and then in my mind I was thinking, for the love for wrestling, for the love of wrestling.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing.
As our buddy Mance would say, sweet wrestling Jesus.
What's great though is when I was being carried to the back, I took a look at my girlfriend in the front row, and she was crying. I was like, yes! I was like, yes, I did my job. I made her believe I was legit injured. Yes!
Well, I will say this. Shout out to Vince's girlfriend. You are such a trooper. Also, we do not apologize for whatever you do to Vincent after the show's over.
Oh, when she hears this, she's gonna murder me.
just literally like an Instagram poster would be like, we're fortunate to report that Vincent has unfortunately, under some weird circumstance, passed away. But Fretz, I will be sending you a message, be like, you don't think? It's like, yes, it's exactly what you think. we had talked about it.
All right, I will. If I had my hand sanitizer handy, I would have the whole hand sanitize my hands clean of this joke.
All right, so you mentioned that there's a lot of times where you have to do road trips, and you did mention that there were a couple of road trip stories. So let me ask this: what's probably your best road trip story, and what has probably been your worst road trip experience? Like, it seems like nothing went right.
All right, so best road trip experience was probably when we were having a hotel room party we were having an after party after a show we did in Philadelphia.
Okay.
And this involves a rib. So we were in the hotel room. Now 4 o'clock in the morning. It was like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and we're all drunk, smoking, and we decide, let's do some prank calls.
Oh God.
Oh gosh, this is giving me like Owen Hart flashbacks.
It's too hard.
Okay, so we prank called, and they answered. We prank called Eric Bischoff.
What? Are you serious?
Okay, stop right there. I want to know about this.
I want to know this. What did you say to the most powerful man in WCW?
He answered. He was like, "Hello." I said, "I'm back." Oh my god, it was so funny.
How long did that conversation last? I'm very curious.
A few seconds because he hung up.
Oh my god. That was amazing. Okay, so you prank Bischoff. Who the hell else?
Who next?
We prank called Medusa.
Oh. Let me guess. She called her. She's like, "Hello." It's like, "I hate you for throwing that belt in the trash, you bitch." Click.
Something like that.
I called it.
Over. Hey, come on, Alundra.
Oh my god.
Elijah Burke.
Oh.
He deserves it.
Yeah,
We prank called Killer Cross.
Oh, dude.
Did you leave the country after that? Did you go to like friggin' Antarctica after that?
Dude, we just prank called so many people. Kurt Angle's on the list too.
Oh my.
Did you chant "You suck"? That's all. Did you chant "You suck" over the phone?
We literally just played his theme music into the phone. Like literally put it on speaker, played his theme music, and the entire room was chanting "You suck."
You know,
that's amazing.
You know, that's one of those phone calls that somehow Kurt Angle might get annoyed by because it's like 4 o'clock in the morning, but at the same time, he probably just has like a giant smile on his face just because it's wrestling fans.
I had the idea to prank call Dan the B7, but at that point, everybody looked at me like I had 6 heads. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Because I was like, at the time, because like they said it would be a good idea if he wasn't booked on a show literally 3 towns over right now. Because like he was staying in a hotel like literally right across the bridge. Because like he was in like Jersey and we were in Philly. He was like not far at all.
So then you get a ringtone that sounds like, and then you know you're dead.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Whew. Oh man.
Okay, who else? Is there anyone else on that list?
No, but it was so funny.
Hey, we weren't even there, and it was hilarious. It's hilarious to us. Shout out to all the people that got prank called by Vincent. No remorse for Elijah Burke, Medusa, maybe a little Bischoff. We are sorry. Kurt Angle, you know you loved it, and Killer Cross. We will send location.
No. Let's put this as unlisted on YouTube.
Like I ever give my location to when I put it up on YouTube? Come on, man. I'm not that dumb. Although I think the thing is though is that we don't have to find Killer Cross. Killer Cross finds you.
Well, you talk about state extended promotions.
What was that?
Killer Cross finally made his NXT debut, though.
I saw that.
Karrion Kross, yeah, he attacked Tommaso, and actually NXT is going on as we speak, so we'll find out the whole deal.
Well, you'll find out the whole deal. I'm chill with you guys, so.
Yeah, I'm good. I'll watch it at like midnight. I don't sleep.
I mean, I'll probably watch it after the podcast because right now I have it recording. So
DVR, yeah. All right, so those are some of the best stories. So, what has been your worst driving experience, road trip experience, whatever you want to call it?
All right, so my dad's a heel manager on the Indies, right? So
cool.
His ring name is Vinny the Guido. For those listeners who may or may not know him, he's been in the business since around 2005. He's trained by Johnny Rods.
Oh, nice.
So I'm with him. We were supposed to be going down representing modern vintage wrestling gimmickry entertainment at a convention in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Right.
So I was there just in case for the wrestling portion they needed a referee. So we're there, we're doing our stuff at the gimmickry table. After the convention, I was backstage talking to Sting and a few other big names, Lex Luger.
Nice.
But yeah. So we leave the convention. We're back at the motel. By far the most god awful motel room I have ever stayed in. I literally waited to use the bathroom till I got to the venue. There was blood on the bathtub and on the toilet. I was like, hell no. I was like, this looks like something out of Bates Motel. I was like, no. I was like,
oh, man.
So, as if that doesn't instantly give away what kind of bad story this is, Fort Wayne, Indiana is like the titty bar capital of the world.
Mm-hmm.
There is literally a titty bar on every corner. Like, and this is not even in an industrial section, because like here in New York, they're hidden in industrial sections, right? So that little kids won't see them. In Fort Wayne, Indiana, they're out in the open. Like, there are so many titty bars in Fort Wayne, Indiana. They're like pizza shops in New York City. They're like all over the place.
Sounds like Montreal.
So, my dad, our friend Shion, and the promoter of Modern Vintage Wrestling, they head over to the titty bar. So I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna stay in the hotel room, do my thing. So I'm chilling Dion comes back. We're talking. Charlie comes back about a half hour later. So then all three of us were talking, and then we look at the time. We're like, we should really start leaving now so we don't get traffic on the way back to New Jersey, because we had to drop off Gian in Pennsylvania, and we had to drop off Charlie in New Jersey.
Okay.
Or me and my dad finally go back to New York. So we pack up the car, we check out, we leave. We go back to the titty bar to get my dad, and apparently they confused him with someone, or they were just fucking with us, because we go in there, he's nowhere to be found. And they said, oh yeah, he got kicked out and arrested with a group of people, because apparently there was someone who looked like him, right? So now, we're scared out of our minds, we don't know what to do, we're driving around Fort Wayne, Indiana, we're looking for him. We got on the phone with the precinct. We're like, hey, yo, have you seen this guy? He's like the most New York motherfucker you've ever seen in your life. He's about yay high, leather jacket, fedora, wears a white t-shirt. You can't miss him. So they check lockup. He's not there. So I'm like, well, what the fuck? So we're driving around, and we find him stumbling drunk down the road. Apparently, the entire time, he didn't get kicked out. He was in the smoker's lounge with the promoter of the club and at least 6 strippers. And on top of that, after that, he went on a little walk to check out the other strip clubs, which is when we found him drunk.
Oh, my Lord.
That's the most New York thing, or Montreal. I'll say in Quebec. Well, I'm not from Quebec. I'm from Ontario. Ontario boys, when we turn 18, we go to Quebec to go to the Rippers, because the legal drinking age is 18 over there for some reason, and it's 19 here. That's like when my friends turned 18 and went to the Rippers story I've ever heard. I've heard exact same situations.
Oh my gosh, that honestly, that is probably one of the worst stories that you could have while on the road, because just trying to find somebody in a place you're not familiar with, that sucks, because you literally feel like you're just looking for a needle in a haystack. But I'm sure at the point it's like, well, he was drunk or something like that. It's like, no, we were looking for fucking hours for this guy. What the hell?
We were looking at him. We were looking for him till I want to say almost 6:30 in the morning.
Oh, well.
The Hangover Part 4, Wrestlers Edition.
I'd pay to see that. If it features Vincent.
The Hangover, Turn of Indie Wrestling.
Now, indie wrestling doesn't mean independence. It means indie wrestling, Indiana. Because why not at that point? Oh my gosh, that's...
Home Alone, Lost in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Oh my gosh.
Home Alone, Lost in Gary, Indiana. Oh wait, no, that's where Chicago hides the bodies.
Man.
Yeah, I've toured the States. I've been there. You were talking about this dingy hotel, and reminded me of this one I stayed in Baker, California, like right on the Vegas border. I swear I saw a prostitution exchange take hands at the room next to mine.
Oh my gosh. That's... Wow, dude. That's...
I was in the room while they were at the strip club, and literally these hookers were just looking at me through the window, and I just went to the blinds and I went.
Nope.
No looky, no touchy. Okay.
I was like, no STDs today.
And you know
I'll
what?
give you an STF if you want.
I kid you not, they looked like those $2 hookers from Hunts Point, Bronx, New York. Like, it was that bad.
I don't know about that. Well, I haven't been to Brooklyn yet, so. Bronx.
The Bronx is like notorious for that shit.
Well, I only was near the New Jersey, New York area because that was where WrestleMania was. So I'm just thankful I was there. So going.
I see it.
I was at WrestleMania 35 last year too. I went to Mania and I went to NXT.
That was awesome. And actually, it's really funny. Last week I was telling Will that I had a video that was posted from my memories of the video of our reaction when Johnny Gargano won the title from Adam Cole. And it's just showing everybody's excited. People are leaving. People are crying. And there's Will just being like, I'm tired. Because he was the start of his long weekend, though, to be fair to him. So it was just funny that, everybody's excited, and then there's just him who's just like, I'm so fucking tired.
Yeah. Apparently, because of what I told Will on the Kings of the Rings podcast, he is, like, really keen on taking me to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania now for those free cheesesteaks from Pat's.
Good old Will, ready to show everybody a good time, no matter where you go.
I can talk to Aunt DeStefano and get some good cheesesteaks, too.
Well, that's because Ant is the man. He knows everything. Shout out to Ant. And also check out his new podcast. It's awesome, dude.
With Wit, yeah.
With Wit.
Philly Sports Podcast. It's really, really interesting. Like, I'm a Toronto guy, like, Leafs, Blue Jays, Raptors, whatever, but I tried to send him in some Flyers questions because, there's a Flyer that comes from my hometown, Rick McLeish, if anyone knows who that is, Broad Street Bullies. So we get talking like that. It's cool.
Nice. So Vincent, let me ask you this question: with all this stuff that's going on, with obviously the can't say it, the Carino, there we go, that's right, the Steve Carino deal, no, it's Mark Carano. I forget who it is now.
Oh, ouch!
I'm surprised you didn't say that, when I when I made that joke a few weeks ago. With everything that's going on, with everything in the world, what are your thoughts on these whole empty arena shows that are continuing to still going on, especially with WWE being deemed an essential business?
Well, we all know Vince McMahon put his money into the government to have him deemed an essential business because, Vince McMahon. But, honestly, I feel like it's a good idea just because it gives the people at home that escape from all this madness to just sit, relax, and watch some good old-fashioned wrestling.
No, I definitely do agree with you. If I'm still able to cry when Drew McIntyre wins the WWE Championship, like he did a few weeks ago, they've accomplished everything. And I don't care what Will and Kate say. Well, I think it's mainly Will. Will's the one who said, like, WrestleMania sucks. So
I'm kind of disappointed that they didn't shit on their own product, though. Like, they should have done the new attendance record of 0 people.
I wasn't there.
Should have done that. Hopefully this is the only WrestleMania with the ceiling fan.
Well, you never really know, because for all we know, this could probably last all the way till next year's WrestleMania. I highly doubt it will. But
please God, don't.
Yeah, that would be very disappointing, because I've already talked to so many people about going. I will say this, that originally it was supposed to be me going to Los Angeles. I was going to go with my friends Rob Fury, as well as Tori Clark, former host of the podcast. And as soon
Rob Fury owned SWF, right? That Rob Fury?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because he's out of Chicago, so I don't know if that's the same one. But so basically, I say this, and then like so many people are just piling in and be like, "Oh, I want to go too," and now it's finally at the point where it's like, okay, so here's basically what's going on. Rob, Tori, I'm not staying with you guys. I'm probably going to be staying with my friends in a hotel room, because this just happened out of the blue, where it's just like, I'm going to WrestleMania next year. It's going to be fun. I want to come too. Why not? Let's bring more people involved with this. I think I remember, Fretz, wasn't your like response like, I would go, but money.
Well, I would, and the thing is with this with Carino's, like, student loans are they're suspended for 6 months, but I'm still giving the government money because I want to get this damn thing paid off. If I had the money, I would, and say that, LA is maybe no sports in public for a while. So if they had a neutral site to it, I would cross my fingers and be like, Toronto, I could get there somehow. And, well, there you go. There's a hotel. There's the hotel with me already taken care of.
Hey.
Yeah, I mean, I like the WWE pay-per-views that they've been pulling off lately. Before the coronavirus, this year's pay-per-views were good. Even WrestleMania this year had a pretty good card. Came out really good. Only thing that was missing was the fans.
Or more fans. There was a fan there.
Bad jokes all night. The biggest fan of all time, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm your biggest fan. And no, it's not the... Oh, who was that guy that was on, every Coliseum video from, 1985 to, 1999? That bloke with the glasses. Every front row. He was the big super fan. He was the modern day... the long-haired guy you'd see at every show, at every WrestleMania now.
Yeah, for me, I don't know who that is. I remember one guy that kept going to all the shows. He had the jean jacket and the red hat on. He always had some very creative signs, stuff like that. That's the guy I remember as super fan.
Yeah.
Then along came Brock Lesnar guy.
And then Finn Balor guy. And then who was the one that Ricky and them had a couple of weeks ago? Balor Club guy.
Yeah.
Or who's the Ellis? The guy who did the Undertaker reaction.
Oh yeah. No, I remember that guy. He had a perfect reaction.
Luckily for me, I got to go to a pay-per-view before the coronavirus ruined everything. I was at the Elimination Chamber in Philadelphia in March.
The last wrestling thing I went to was a house show in Oshawa, Ontario, Canada, and the main event was the hometown boy Test versus Scott Steiner.
Hey.
The main event. I mean, the Raw roster was depleted at that point in time, but holy cow, you could have sent out somebody.
but the compelling storyline of Test and Steiner and this is before he had that awesome promo of Math Steiner.
This was the match. Okay, Test comes out, hometown pop. He was born and raised in Oshawa, Ontario, right outside of Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
Test comes out. I think on TV he was a babyface, and Test was a heel, but it was really weird. Literally, it's Stacy getting chased around the ring by Scott Steiner, and then you get in the ring, big boot by Test, it's over. Test gets the hometown pop, and this one, this is one of the only wrestling stories I have. I had an indie show I'll get into in another time.
Okay.
So La Resistance made their untelevised debut at this show.
Oh.
Rene Dupree, Sylvain Grenier had a jobber match against Maven and Spike Dudley. Their entrance music was the Finnish national anthem, Ludwig Borga's theme, which Nikolai Volkov used at WrestleMania X7, and I'm like, Volkov's Russian? Finland? That was a weird show, but it was fun.
And the last show that I was at was AEW Revolution, which has been getting a lot of... it doesn't really get a lot of praise, but it's definitely one of those really good shows that was just very fitting for the hometown Chicago crowd. Also, go figure, anytime that you have a live band play your entrance deal, you lose. Yes, I'm talking about Cody and Chris Jericho, which makes me sad, because the week after, I had to deal with Fretz in a scarf kissing his pinky.
And for one thing, downstate, they didn't do a sound check. They sounded effing terrible, that show. I mean, on TV, it did not translate well. I mean, the U-mates did not do a sound check. That, or you don't have, Jim Johnson or friggin' Bucktooth Boy at the helm.
Bucktooth Boy.
Yeah. In comes to mind when I think back to the topic of Test. You know what other names come to mind?
The Punisher, Andrew Martin.
Test.
When I think of Test, I also think of Lance Storm and Christian.
Yes, the Un-Americans, my favorite faction.
That was a great gimmick for them. I'm not gonna lie. Like it got them over so much as a heel. Like it was great.
Yeah, that was your the post, what some people up here call like the post 9/11 paranoia patriotism. They were capitalizing on that, and the heat.
Yeah, that was also the idea behind the whole Muhammad Hassan gimmick, the post 9/11 thing.
Hassan, what could have been? There's a misbooking opportunity for us, Nate.
Oh, yeah.
You see, here's what happened though. At the time, they had plans of making Muhammad Hassan the World Heavyweight Champion.
Which would have been awesome.
But because the TV company station that they had to deal with did not want that character on TV anymore for what it was standing for. So they forced the WWE to write him off. Thus, The Undertaker.
Yeah.
Well, that was also, wasn't it just terrible happenstance that SmackDown is taped, and the day that this was either taped or aired was the London bombings.
I do remember that. That was...
Yeah.
You could not have a worse time.
That was just... That was just, shitty happenstance. I mean, if that was taped, you could have deleted it, or... Okay, now it's airing Friday. Literally Friday morning. Shit.
Yeah. Alright. So, guys, we're going to take one final commercial break. When we come back, maybe we'll hear some more stories, but I think we'll talk a little bit more about some of the best foreign gimmicks in all of professional wrestling. Not just WWE, because, hey, we don't like to just stereotype. Stay tuned, guys. We'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Coda Jacobs, the crusader and visionary behind a brighter future in wrestling. If you're an honorable and noble public servant like myself, you are listening to the Game Changer Podcast.
Hi, I'm NateFNGreat. You know what's really fun, you guys, is just spending some time creating wrestling moments. Whether it's being in the crowd, cutting promos, or just really kind of beating each other up with a chair or a trash can. Well, let's just say that there's a safer way to doing that without using the actual chair or a trash can. Go over to Great Minds Revolution Incorporated. My buddy Kurt has actually created a very safe and fun way to be a wrestling fan without the necessary lawsuits of basically beating each other up with real stuff. He has an inflatable chair that is really fun to just whack around, and it can also double as a little floaty for a pool. He also has the inflatable trash can, which, you guys, is really awesome because let's say maybe you don't want to use it for wrestling matches. You could use it at your barbecue, your next big tailgate party, whatever you could think of. Great Minds Revolution, Inc. They do a great job on making wrestling fun again. Proud friends of the Game Changer Podcast.
They say there are tons of wrestling podcasts out there, and you can definitely find one that fits you. Quite frankly, truer words have never been said. Be that as it may, please be aware that we here at Wrestle Addict Radio are about to embark on a conscious effort to open the creative envelope, so to speak, in order to entertain you in a more contemporary and much more educated manner. Even though we call ourselves a wrestling podcast network, the keyword in that phrase is wrestling. Wrestling extends far beyond the confines of WWE and AEW, to name a few. Wrestling takes many forms, from the intergender moments going on in Impact Wrestling, to the nostalgia going on in NWA, to the creativity and the hard-hitting explosiveness that occurs over in New Japan Pro Wrestling. You can clearly see that wrestling is a place for everyone. We at Wrestle Addict Radio feel that you, the wrestling podcast listener, are quite frankly sick and tired of getting your intelligence insulted. We also think that you're tired of a simplistic reasoning of WWE is way too mainstream and AEW is for the marks, just to name a few as an example. We know Bet you, the wrestling podcast listener, are tired of having your opinions made fun of and ridiculed on big social media platforms like Twitter and Reddit. Surely the idea, reasoning, and lack of logic behind statements such as, "This sucks and I don't like it because I said so," is definitely passé. Therefore, we here at Wrestle Addict Radio have embarked on a far more innovative and contemporary creative campaign that is far more invigorating and extemporaneous than ever before. You see, we are responsible wrestling podcasters that work hard to bring you the outrageous, wacky, and wonderful world known as wrestling. Wrestling is for everyone, no matter what race, creed, gender, sexuality, and anything else that you identify as. Wrestling, if done correctly, is a unifying bond where we can all celebrate and collectively suspend our disbelief, if only for a moment in time, for the sake of enjoying ourselves and the enjoyment of everyone around us. This does not mean that we will always agree. Quite frankly, disagreement is a positive thing. It gives us an avenue and an outlet to learn about someone else's perspective, which might in turn challenge us to rethink our own. As divisive as our community can be at times, we have the power to make a positive change, and we here at Wrestle Addict Radio look forward to becoming the leaders in that change. If this is your first time listening to us, then welcome to a positive wrestling community. If you have listened to us before, then thank you for your continued support. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is King Ricky Rose, your general manager of Wrestle Addict Radio, the cure for the common wrestling podcast.
So we'd like to take this time on the Game Changer podcast to remember all of the important key elements of wrestling, that being Mitch the Plant, the Rascally Wabbit, and who was the last one that we were talking about? Francesca. Which iteration? All of them. Welcome back to the Game Changer podcast, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Nate the NateFNGreat, being joined here by Mr. Fretz, as well as referee Vincent. Guys, we took a little bit of a longer break, but that's because we had such good shit talking about. I mean, we talked about a lot of Jericho stuff. We talked a lot about Vince McMahon being like 7,500 or something like that. Who knows at this point? I mean, something
Siri,
like,
how old is Vince McMahon?
we're going to the web.
He's 74 years old.
74.
How the hell is he still kicking?
His mom's like 100. He has good genes.
Jeez, that is insane. Wait, his mom is still alive?
Yeah, his mom's like in her. I think her mom's like in her 90s.
Oh my gosh.
Yep, Vince McMahon still kicking out at 2 like a good John Cena match.
Like a good John Cena match. Jeez Louise. Oh man, so honestly guys, there's so much more that could be discussed here, but before we get into that, definitely got to do the nice little cheap plugs, because why the hell not? Wrestle Addict Radio at Addict_Wrestle on the Twitter. Yes, I saw you giving me that look, Fretz. Shut up, because I am only human.
What? I didn't. I was looking at my phone, bitch.
Definitely check out everybody there, including us, the Young Lions Perspective, as well as the Kings of the Rings podcast, which thankfully here, King Ricky is doing well. He is healthy. It's a happy day. So looking forward to hearing Kings of the Ring back in full force is going to be absolutely great. And honestly, it's going to be interesting because they still have not given their WrestleMania review of it yet. I still kind of want to hear what Will had to say because from last week, he just made it seem like he hated it as well as much as he hated Zack Ryder. Yes, I am saying that because he did say that. He didn't say the exact words, I hate Zack Ryder, but from what you heard, it sounded like he had a bit of a disdain for Zack Ryder.
Yeah, Matt Cardona just got released from WWE, so...
Yeah, also Cassius Ohno.
I know that Zack Ryder's real name.
Yeah, I know that was his real name because he sent me a cameo, which was awesome. But yeah, like I said before, Cassius Ohno is also gone from the company too, which some people are probably surprised at this point, but at the same time, these are bad times to have these cuts. Just hopefully everything gets back to normal within the next month. I'm going bold and saying the next month. Hopefully we get our heads out of our asses and start actually making progress. We just need to make the curve go down. Just make the curve go down. Make it good. Everything good. And don't be stupid. Wash your hands. Wear a face mask if you know you're not feeling good. Be respectful of others.
Don't protest.
Well, I mean, that goes without saying. The fact that there are people that are doing that's amazing. There's probably people in the state of Florida, that are outside WWE Performance that are saying, like, WWE's not essential. Oh, there's not? Wow, what a shock.
Like, whenever you hear the stuff on the news, like, about someone doing something stupid, it's always a Florida man.
That's why...
Florida versus everybody.
I was going to go there. I was going to say, that was...
Okay, context, Vincent. Our buddy Anthony DeStefano, well, he used to be the head of Wrestle Addict Radio. Rant with Ant was his podcast he had for many years. He stepped off and has a new podcast with two of his work friends, and it's called The Rant. They're currently on hiatus, and Ant's doing WizWit, which is his Philly sports, which we just talked about. They have a gag. It's Florida versus everybody. They get a news clip of the most outrageous shit that either there street race going on there or what? It's someone heard me. Someone from Florida is coming.
I'm gonna get you.
So they get a news story from Florida, which is like, something involving Walmart and an alligator, and then you'll get a news story from whether it's Wisconsin, New York, Canada, anywhere. I've sent him so many because I live in like cottage country in southern Ontario along Lake Huron. I hear some crazy shit. None of it makes the show, but yeah, long story short, I ramble a lot.
Hey, man. If it works for you, if it helps you out, that's what matters. So, oh my gosh. What were we talking about again? Oh, right. Something about protests. Try to be safe, try to be careful, try to definitely be courteous of others. Jeez, it's absolutely crazy. Oh, I did have one final question for you, Vincent, because I definitely do want to hear at least one more story. Even though it's hard to really top you crank calling Eric Bischoff and Kurt Angle at 4 o'clock in the morning. Oh my gosh, that's going to live in infamy forever here on the Game Changer podcast. So I do want to ask, what was probably your best interaction with a top name? I guess I'll even go this far. Top tier name. Hashtag beat that Kings of the Rings. Somebody that was in like Impact Wrestling, WWE, AEW, something like that. And what has been like your worst? So it's kind of another one of those two sides of the candle deal.
I haven't really had a worst yet, but I've had the opportunity to carpool with Michael Elgin, friend of mine. I've carpooled with Abyss before he got signed as a producer for WWE.
Did he bring his girlfriend, was it Janice, the 2x4 with the nails?
Oh, no, thank
Your face told the story.
I saw him, too. I was like, what, no Janice today? He's like, nope, not on this road trip.
That's awesome.
But I've also had had the opportunity to carpool with Sabu.
Ooh. Did he hit you with a chair?
No.
I'm sorry. I have so many stereotypes. I need to be addressed.
We did check out a smoke shop though.
That sounds like Sabu.
We checked out a smoke shop, looked at their bongs and like their wax tips and like their wax tip pens and stuff like that. Like we went in there and like we were just talking about weed a lot in the car, and the name of Rob Van Dam came up.
Gee, I wonder why. Oh man, that's funny. So, would you say that the Sabu one is your best interaction with a top tier person, or is there another one that comes to mind?
I'd say it's probably Michael Elgin, because me and my dad almost talked him into going into a titty bar after a show.
And the titty bar makes its return.
He was like, "Oh, you're tempting me." We tempted him, but still didn't happen. But it's going to happen.
It's one of those things.
It's going to happen. I'm telling you right now, my father and I will get Michael Elgin into a titty bar eventually.
As soon as that happens, you can kick that off the bucket list. Oh, that's amazing. Fretz, I know that you had a couple more questions for our wonderful guest, Vincent, but
I asked everything I wrote down, but I wanted some. If you had some more, I wanted to ask about like the best ribs you've seen or you've been a part of. I know I loved the story you told about Jim Neidhart on Kings of the Rings. That was just
that was funny. That was a funny road story. For the listeners who haven't heard that story yet, check out Wrestling Zebra episode of Kings of the Rings podcast. Stories there. But yeah, that was a good story. There's the story my dad told me about on the road heading to that show where he ripped Jim.
Really?
But that's not my rib. But
okay.
My best rib personally is I was working on an East Coast Pro Wrestling show, and what luck would have it that I was the only referee.
Oh damn!
On a almost 10-match card.
Oh man, there's so many things that are going to be just cycling through my head, but we'll see what happens.
So there's this tag team. Their tag team is the boy band.
Oh, that was the Revival. Sorry.
And they come out to the song "Don't Stop Believing" by Journey.
Oh no.
Or at least they usually do.
Oh boy.
So there were I want to say they were match 5 on the card, and they had no idea this happened. But in the first match, the DJ gave away their music to Connor Riley.
Oh no.
So now they are stuck with no music. I was like, okay, well, there are 2 options here. A, they can come out wrestling before music was invented, or I could choose a song for them.
I'm gonna brace myself for this. I think I'm gonna need some popcorn for this.
I had them coming out to All the Single Ladies. It was so funny because and then the rest of the night I was waiting specifically for that match. So we get to that match, and this is one of those shows where the ring announcer does the introductions before the music and before they come out.
Yeah.
No, during. So the ring announcer announces them, and then all you hear is all the single ladies, and they walk through the curtain, and they were mad. They turned to the DJ, they're like, "That's not our music." And then you see me in the ring trying not to laugh. I was just like, you know that face that you make when you're trying so hard not to laugh?
Yes.
I was so doing that face, and they look at me, and then they're like, hey, I'm like,
what?
I was like, and then they get in the ring, they're like, Vinny, you motherfucker. I was like, hey, it's either this or no music. The DJ gave your song to Tyler Riley. I was like, you guys are lucky I didn't have you coming out to, like, fucking Britney Spears.
Drive me crazy when I feel this.
There was a lot that I could have had you guys coming out to. I could have had you guys coming out to the Duck song. I could have had you guys coming out to Baby Shark. I could have had you guys coming out to Britney Spears. I could have had you guys coming out to anything by NSYNC or the Backstreet Boys. I could have really done that to you guys, but I didn't. I chose this.
I want to say this, that if I do finally get into the wrestling business and I'm fully trained, every single time I come out with a theme song, it's always going to be something either stupid or hilarious. So I'm going to have to remember all the single ladies, something Britney Spears. I definitely will have to remember the Duck song, because that is brilliant. I'll just come out like just in yellow attire, just walking up to people being like, got any grapes?
You want to hear something outrageous?
More outrageous than these last two stories? Okay.
These are like the coolest wrestling gimmicks I've ever seen. My friend comes out, his ring name is Hot Dog. Mm-hmm. He dresses up like a hot dog. And you guys know that hot dog song from the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse TV show?
Hot dog, diggity dog.
That's his entrance music.
Oh my god.
My nephew would love him. Or hate him. I don't know where he stands on Mickey Mouse now.
Now imagine that, because there was this one show I worked on, it was a fundraiser, where it was him versus my friend Leroy Green, whose entire gimmick revolves around him playing a Nintendo Switch the entire time.
I gotta get familiar with this. I was doing that earlier.
Literally, he was working my favorite Leroy Green match. Shout out to my friend Leroy, by the way.
Hey, Leroy.
His Instagram, if you guys want to check him out, is @BigGameLeroy. But my favorite Leroy Green match is probably him versus Low Key at a House of Glory show.
Everybody loves Low Key.
They did a spot where they used the Jumbotron so that Leroy and Low Key could be playing the Nintendo Switch on a big screen.
Oh my god, that's amazing. I'm just imagining now, like, a wrestling persona doing something like that, where they're just fighting on top of a Titantron, they just drop down, and on the Titantron it just shows, like, the game characters on there, so it just shows them continuing to fight, then the game characters go off screen, they're back.
Yeah, that would be great.
Oh, man. Comedy Gold. I wrote it WWE. I wrote it TNA. I wrote it AEW. Pay me my royalties if you try that. Hell, Profession Gorilla, you try that.
Gives new meaning to the game gimmick.
Right?
Time to play the game. Press start. WWF No Mercy.
No, that'd be the best joke, is that it's WWF No Mercy.
WWF No Mercy, okay. Here's a story. So, there's this guy that I know that he's a wrestler. He has never played WWF No Mercy.
Oof.
Okay, how old is he?
He's of age to know that he should have played WWF No Mercy. He just never did. So, his ring name is JD Alpha. I worked on a show, and, like, they did a whole storyline around him not playing WWF No Mercy, to the point where his tag team partners in the 6-man tag turned their backs on him. It was great. It was so funny. And then the finish of the match was him being tombstoned on a Nintendo N64, Nintendo 64 with WWF No Mercy.
Oh my gosh.
The game was intact, but the system, not so much.
That is awesome.
I have the dust.
I'll send you guys that video.
Oh man, I want to see that video too. just to see the fact that WWF No Mercy, indestructible. And
Yeah, that match. I think that match itself is also on YouTube, but it's also on the video. BWF presents Jingle All the Way, full show on the Bronx Wrestling Federation YouTube channel.
Of course, it had to be a Christmas show.
Of course.
All right, so guys, unfortunately, we're at that point where we are out of time, but definitely want to say this. Vincent, thank you so much for coming on the show. Thank you so much for your absolutely amazing stories. Honestly,
I still got more stories, so maybe I can come on another time and have more fun with you guys. That'd be great.
Hell yeah. Honestly, I could see you coming back, say, around SummerSlam time. Shall we punt to you in there?
Good.
All right.
Sounds good.
So next time you hear Vincent, he will be on the SummerSlam show. Guys, definitely check him out. Vincent, by all means, plug everything that you have away so that way people know where to find you and can maybe hear more stories as well as awesome videos that you were a part of.
My Facebook friend page is Vincent Cantoni. You could also like my page on Facebook, Referee Vincent Cantoni. On Instagram, I am at referee_Vincent_Cantoni. And on Twitter, I am at RefVinCantoni.
Very nice. So you can follow him all there, guys. If you haven't gotten a chance, definitely check out at the bottoms, the comments, and the links. We will definitely have all the information in there, so that way you can follow him. You can definitely give him a hard time if you want to. Even if you want to maybe just drop a couple digits his way, just make sure that his girlfriend's not watching, because otherwise, we've already went through this joke.
You'll kill me.
I think you're in the clear right now. I think you're in the clear for the time being. So you can definitely follow my good friend Mr. Fretz at the legendary JF. Definitely check out a lot of his stuff, whether it's his Fave 5, the 20 Bell Salute that is on Patreon, and it's absolutely awesome. Definitely check me out on Twitter at RealFNGame, as well as, like I said, Addict_Wrestle. Check that out. Give it a like, give it a follow, give it absolutely as much love as you can, guys, because we cannot do this without you. And in this trying time, we're still giving away free stuff on Patreon, so definitely check that out. It is absolutely amazing. So, with that being said, I've been Nate the NateFNGreat, and wait, hold the phone. Before we go, there is one more cameo that I did forget to bring up. A lot of people know that I've been doing a lot of cameos, basically celebrating the 5-year anniversary deal, but this one is a little more special, so please bear with us, guys, and we will talk to you guys in the next episode. Signing off for Fretz, for Vincent, I've been Nate the NateFNGreat for the Game Changer. It's a special time.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to his birthday, please welcome Mr. Fretz. Hey there, it's Lillian Garcia from the WWE, also the Chasing Glory podcast, and PFL Cage announcer. Wanted to come by here and say a happy birthday to you and sing you this little tune. Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday, dear Mr. Fretz. Happy birthday to you. Hey, I love birthdays. Birthdays are special, so definitely celebrate it big time, all right? Sending you much, much love. Mwah.